Welcome to Crash Archives, where we cover some of the craziest stories, events, shocking news, and tragic stories. Today we have an episode in Baltimore. Are you guys ready? Let's get into it. Like, comment, subscribe. In the quiet shadows of Baltimore, on a cold January night, a young life would change forever. The hum of an auto repair shop on Fairlawn Avenue shattered in an instant. Shots rang out, lives were taken, and one young man's fate teetered on the edge. Darius Day, a 21-year-old mechanic, took pride in his work. By day, he was a skilled hand under the hood. By night, a licensed security guard dedicated to keeping peace. But that night, peace was the last thing on the minds of three men who stormed in, weapons drawn. They were armed, prepared, and ready to unleash terror. A colleague, cornered at gunpoint, was forced to surrender his firearm. Then, in the blink of an eye, shots were fired, and one life was tragically cut short. In those harrowing seconds, Darius faced a decision that would alter his life forever. In a surge of survival, he drew his own weapon and took action. Action that he believed was necessary to protect himself and his colleagues. Shots echoed through the shop. In the end, two of the armed men lay dead, while a third was wounded but alive. When the dust settled, Darius' life would never be the same. Initially, the charges were swift and severe. First-degree murder, firearm use, and a violent crime. The weight of the law bore down on him like a tidal wave. Yet, from the very start, Darius acted with integrity. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He made the call to 911, voluntarily turned himself in, surrendered his phone, his weapon, and gave the police every detail he could remember of that night. With charges hanging over his head, Darius was faced with a powerful adversary, the state. But he had one thing on his side: truth. And he had an advocate who believed in him, attorney Chris Prepera. Prepera argued self-defense. He argued that Darius' actions were not born out of malice, but necessity. To protect his life and the lives of his colleagues, he stood firm. My client acted in a way that any reasonable person would have, given the threat he faced. It was a tense, highly intense courtroom battle. The prosecution offered him a plea deal, a staggering 80 years in prison, with all but 30 suspended. But Darius refused. He would not plead guilty to something he knew he didn't do. October 29th, the day of reckoning. After months of waiting, the jury deliberated, then the verdict: not guilty on all charges. In a powerful, very powerful moment of justice, Darius Day was cleared of all accusations. He walked free, vindicated of a crime he didn't commit. A heavy weight lifted, a second chance at life given back. In that courtroom, something more than one young man's fate was decided. The jury's verdict affirmed a fundamental truth: the right to defend oneself when faced with deadly harm. A reminder that justice, while often delayed, is a force to be reckoned with. Darius now stands as a symbol of resilience. He faced fear, adversity, and the threat of life behind bars. Yet, he held on to his faith in truth and the justice system. To many, Darius' story is a reminder of courage in the face of darkness, a perseverance in times of doubt. And to Darius himself, it's the first page of a new chapter, a chapter defined not by violence, but by vindication, hope, and a chance to rebuild. Let this story remind us all: justice isn't just a verdict, it's the promise of truth upheld and a life renewed. Crazy story today, guys, but I will tell you this: every case is not going to be self-defense, or at least the state will not look at it like that way. But you have to keep fighting and you have to push on. This is Crash Archives. If you like this story, leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and share with anybody that would be of interest to watch this story or hear about it. Looking forward to providing a new episode very, very soon, and we'll see you in the next episode. This is Crash Archives. Peace and love.